Alright class, so here's page 3 and then so we're going to add one more step to our variation problems. So just a quick recap. On page 1 we learned how to write the general equation. Okay, and then on page 2 we learn how to find k, which is the constant. And then today on page 3 we're gonna learn how we can use the new equation. Okay, so for each of these problems we need to learn how to we learn how to do these, and then I'm going to show you how we can use the new equation. Okay, all right, so the first step is it says A varies directly as B. So that's where that's what we're gonna use to write the equation. So we know that for varies we write equals K. So you have A equals K directly means multiplication with B. So you have A equals K times B, KB. And then the second step is we're going to find the constant K by plugging in these numbers. It says if A is equal to 6 and when B is equal to 2, I'm going to stop there. I'm going to plug those numbers in here to find my K. So A is equal to 6 and then B is equal to 2. So let me solve this. So here to get K by itself, we know we need to just divide by 2. So you have K equals 3. And then the third step is this last part of the sentence. It says find B when A is equal to 7. Notice that at first A is equal to 6. Now A is equal to 27. So now we have to see what B is going to change to, because these are the variables. So they keep changing depending on what it is. But the thing that doesn't change is my constant C. So to write my new equation, what I do is we take the constant and we plug it into our general equation. So we have here 3b. So this is my new equation and this is the one that has my constant in it. So now we can find what b is by plugging in a. So you have here a is equal to 27, 3 times b, so we can solve for b by dividing. So you have 27 divided by 3, which is 9. Okay. So yeah, so there's always 3 parts to it, those 3 steps, and I listed them out for you up there. Okay, so let's look at the next one. So first thing, we're going to find the general equation without any numbers. So you have h varies, so h equals k jointly with c and m. Jointly means multiplication, unless it says otherwise, we just assume it's multiplication. So it's h equals k times c times m. Alright, so second step is we need to look for my constant. I need to find a number for k. To find that number, we're going to plug in these variables. So you have h equals k times c, and h is equal to 75. K, we'll figure that out. C is equal to 5, and then m is equal to 6. Now we're going to solve for k. So I'm going to simplify my right side. 5 times 6 is 30. Bring down the 75, and then we're going to divide both sides by 30. So you have here k equals 75 divided by 30. I'm going to put that in Desmos. 75 divided by 30 is equal to 2.5. Now, whenever we find my constant, I'm going to put it back in here, and then I'm going to use that new equation. So you have here h equals, take this, put it in here, so you have k is equal to 2.5 times c times m. So I'm also done with this part. So I found my equation, my general equation. And then I found my constant k by plugging in numbers in here. And then now I'm going to use the equation. It says, what is m when h changes to 192.5? See, first it was at 75, and then it changed to 192.5, and then c changed to 7. C was 5, and then now it changed to 7. So now we have to find what m changes to, because it can no longer be 6. So these variables keep changing, but my constant doesn't. So that's why I have this new equation. Okay, so I'm going to plug the numbers in. So you have 192.5 equals 2.5 times c is equal to now 7. And then you have your m. Okay, so now I'm going to just simplify by multiplying. 2.5 times 7 is 2.5 times 7 is 17.5. And then you have your m, bring that down. And then we're going to divide. And then you have here m equals 192.5, 192.5 divided by 17.5, 11. So my new m, or my answer to this question, is 11. Number 3, it says here, A varies inversely as the square of B. So you have A varies, so equals K. Inversely means division, as the square of B, so B squared. And then it says here, if A is equal to 6 and B is equal to 3, so I'm going to plug it in my general equation. So if A is equal to 6, I'm going to plug in 6 equals K divided by B squared, and B is equal to 3, so that's 3 squared. Let me find what K is equal to first. So I'm just going to give myself some room and come up here. So I'm going to simplify first. So you have K over 3 squared, which is 9. And then to get 9 out of the denominator, I'm going to multiply both sides by 9. So 9 times 6 is 56 equals K. 9 times 6, 54. Sorry about that. 54 equals K. All right, and then we have here, as soon as you find what K is, to get my new equation, all I have to do is take my K and plug it in here. So you have A equals K, which is 54, divided by B squared. Okay, so I found my equation, then I found my K. Now I'm going to use my equation. It says find A when B is equal to 2. So that's 2 squared. I'm going to give myself some room here. So you have here A equals 54 divided by 2 squared, which is 4. So you have A equals 54 divided by 4 is 135, what am I saying? 113.5. So that is my answer. Okay, I'm going to go through these next 3 examples with you. Number 4, it says here, the length of a spring varies inversely with the force applied to it. So my length, there's my first step, my length varies inversely with the force. Okay, let me find my constant. It says if my length is equal to 20 and my force is equal to 10, so let me substitute those numbers in here. My length is equal to 20 and then my force is equal to 10. Before I can go on, I need to just simply find what K is first. So that's 200 equals K. 10 times 20. Okay. And then to find my new equation, I need to plug it back in my general equation. So you have L equals 200 divided by my force. And now let me read the rest of the problem. It says find the length of the spring when subjected to a force of 4. So now I'm going to substitute 4 in here. And then so you have L equals 200 divided by 4. It's 50. And that is my answer. All right, number 5. A varies directly. A varies directly as the square root of x times square root of x. That's my first step. Second step, if y is equal to 4 and x is equal to 64, so let me plug those in. It says y is equal to 4 and then my x is equal to 64. Before I go through to the third part of the question, let me find what k is. So you have here, let me simplify, square root of 64 is 8. And then you can divide by 8 on both sides. So you have k equals 4 divided by 8. So 4 divided by 8 is 105. Or you could have just done 4 divided by square root of 64. It should be the same thing, okay? 105. 0.5. Okay, so now I'm going to take that, plug it back in here to find my new equation that I can work with for the rest of my problem. Okay, it says here, so I finished this, I found my k. It says find y when x is equal to 49. So you have y equals half times square root of 49 is 7, or if you want to, you can just put the whole thing in decimals. I don't know where my mouse is. Okay. Square root of 49, and that's 3.5. And that is my answer. Alright, last question here for my example. So you have here the power in watts of an electrical circuit varies. So the power varies jointly. So so the power, so I'm just going to use P for power. P equals K, because whenever you see the word varies, you just put equals K. Jointly means multiplication as the resistance, so I'm going to put R for resistance, and the square of this current, I'm going to put C for current, and the current is being squared. Okay, that's it. So now we're going to find out. So before, let me just copy this over. We do need to find out what power is equal to in the next sentence. We need to find out what the resistance is equal to, and then we also need to find out what the current is equal to. So it says that for a 250 watt refrigerator, it draws a current of 2 and a resistance of 50, which means the power has to be 240. Okay, now I'm going to plug these numbers in here. So you have P is 240, and then my resistance is 60, and then my current is 2, and the current is being squared. So let me simplify all of this part, and I'm going to simplify it by just plug it in my Desmos. So I'm going to do 60 times parentheses 2, and then it's being squared, so that's 240. Alright, and then to get k by itself, you're going to divide by 240 on both sides. So you have k equals 1. Now I'm going to take the k and plug it in here. So you have here the third part, you have p equals, k is equal to 1, and then rc squared. So you have p is equal to, that's just rc squared, it's just 1, right? So here we have, it says what is the resistance of a 600 watt microwave. So my power changed to 600, and then we're looking for R, and then my current is at 5. So this is at 5 squared. So this is R times 25. So I'm going to divide both sides by 25. So you have R equals, I think that be 24, let's see, 600 divided by 25 is 24. Alright, class?